This is Ashtar of Ashtar Command. We are here to serve all of you.
Hello, Asta. I'm very happy that you are here with us today. Thank you very much for speaking through our beautiful vessel, Erica.
It is a pleasure.
So I'm very excited for what we will do today. The tour that we mentioned last week. Would you like to do that for us today, to make us a tour in your mothership?
Yes. So we'll focus on the main ship we call the mothership, because we do have other ships surrounding us, and then when we talk about all of them, we'll run out of the time.
Okay. Can I ask you questions in between as you are guiding us through?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So first of all, can I ask, where is this mothership located?
We are located currently in very close atmosphere of Earth, because we are monitoring your vibrational level as a population and a planet.
I see. Are we able to physically see the ship, or is it cloaked?
It's about a vibrational difference. The reason why you don't see us, because your vibration is not high enough to see us. So you could say it's cloaked, but once you achieve the fifth dimensional vibration, you can see us.
I see. Okay. Would you like to describe for us how does it look like from the outside first?
When you think of a ship, you do think, because of your movies and your mind conception, you would think a ship is metallic. Of course, these kind of ships exist in 4D planets and 4D technologies, which is Draconians and Leptarians are familiar with, and their technologies are very mechanical. But once you go up from 5D and above, we're not exactly physical. You are having light bodies from 5 dimension. So as the ship. So our ships are quite translucent. And the reason why we can exist in every part of galaxies or planets, because we don't have such a solid structure. Because our crew members consist from 5D to 8D beings. So once beings gets higher dimension, less formation, less physicality. So once you get to 8D being, you are almost non-physical. You can form your formation via holographic technology, but you don't need to.
Can we pause for a moment? patience. We may continue.
So when you shift into 5D level, our ships looks like some sort of metallic structure, but not like machinery. The substance you would see is very different from what you're familiar with, because to tell the truth, our ships aren't really solid.
Would you say that they might look more like a sense of metallic, but more like fluid, more liquid?
It's more like liquid, but in 5D level, you could still see as metallic figure, because that's how you conceptualize what ship looks like in your mind. But since the ship is same as light body, it consists of the light. In 5D level, ship needs to be a little more solid than translucent. So in the eyes of 5D beings, ship looks more metallic with higher frequency.
And what about the shape?
It looks like about long square shape, and the top part is a pointy figure, but it's very big shape, so it had to have this kind of formation because we need to have as many facility as possible within the ship.
So approximately how many beings are currently within this ship?
We have about 20% of our crew members are on the mission of boarding mission. 80% are in outside missions. So we still have our common facilities are constantly providing their form of relaxation, and our outside crew members, they come back to the ship while they're sleeping at night. So at night in your time, our ships gets full board members. Nobody is away from the ship in the long period of the time, because it's very important for all of you to have a tune-up, energetic tune-up, to keep yourself being authentic and keep yourself being who you really are, no matter where you are at, because some of the missions are extremely tough condition.
So
and it's very easy to forget about yourself.
So if I understand you correctly, do you mean that some of your members, some of the Ashtar Command members who are the ground crew, so to say, are visiting your ships during their dream time, and you are working with them?
All of them are back to the ship at night.
All of them? What do you mean?
All of the ground crew members.
Ah, wow, okay.
Especially when the environment is very harsh. It's very difficult for them to stay away, because the bodies and the environment you're having is very temporary, which is not exactly who you are. You had to change your structures and you had to change your light frequency in order to adapt this environment for the missions.
Yeah, absolutely.
But necessarily representing who you really are. So when the mission is over, and then when you need to come back to the ship, you won't have too much shock between getting accustomed to this temporary body and temporary vibration, temporary personality, to your authentic self.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, makes sense. And how often, if you could estimate, how often do your members visit the ship? Like every night, once per year?
Some of them prefer to come back every night. Some of them come back 2-3 times a week. Even if they are very busy and preoccupied in their ground crew life, at least they come back once a week. Because it's very important to get their treatment in the healing center. In order for them to keep on going their missions. Especially Earth missions are a very long period of the mission. When we do mission in other planets, it doesn't take that long, because there's no reincarnation cycle you have to go through. So this Earth mission was a very unexpected sort of mission for ground crew members as well, because when they decide to go through the mission, well, for the human year, maybe we would say a month or two. That's the general length of the mission. Then you go back to the ship and then you complete the mission and then you choose to do something else. So Earth mission is more of 80-90 years in human time, which is very long compared to 2 to 3 month mission. So it's very easy to forget about yourself. It's very easy to get alienated from who you are. It's very easy to vibrating in very different way from who you are. Or you get so tired of being there, and then your spark of life is lessened, which is not helpful.
Yeah.
So that is why a lot of our crew members, they prefer to come back every single night, so they don't forget who they are. And then depends on the life event that they are having during the human life, they can go through extensive healing treatment during nighttime in our ship.
Yeah. That's amazing. Thank you so much for this information. there's a lot more I could ask you on the subject, but I want to stay focused on our intention today, which is to visit the ship.
Yes. So we do have a recreation facility, which is the main part of the ship. We do have a nature part in the middle of this field. And then we do have 3 healing centers. Depends on the parts or area you want to focus on. There are different sort of healing facilities surrounding the park, and you do have school facility and a training facility for the crew members, because sometimes you need to acquire certain kind of skills before you land into your mission.
That's so cool.
Also, some of the crew members enlist themselves to be a pilot instead of being a ground crew, which you can change your profession. You don't even have to keep on being ground crew. Some people suddenly want to be a pilot.
What do you
pilot of our ship.
Yeah, how does that work? Let's say I am a ground crew, let's say, right? And I want to change to become a pilot. How does that work? Or is it in another life, you mean?
You can be a pilot, but you have to go through extensive training of it.
But okay. You said it's an area of plants with nature. Is it just for nourishment, or are you also growing food?
We don't eat food. Eating is habit of 43D realms. After 5D, we don't need to have food. When you have ascended to 5D, you may be continue a habit for a short time just because your mind cannot catch up of the concept of not eating food. But we are light beings, and the light beings don't need to eat food. So this nature is purely for nourishment for our souls. Depends on which planet we come from. What kind of plants and the nature we are surrounded by are different. But many of high dimensional planets, we are very in touch with nature, even though we have high crystal technologies. We keep our planets to be extremely natural. So since most of the crew members are away from home or they no longer have home, it's very important for them to get in touch with nature as well, because that means getting in touch with themselves. So in this park, we do have a lot of different plants and planets, oriented flowers and glass, which is not from one planet, but from several planets. So everybody can enjoy their taste of home.
So you also have plants from Earth?
No.
Okay. How come?
Because Earth is not the home.
But isn't it temporarily home for starseeds?
Yes, but they can enjoy their nature while they are being at Earth. They don't have to enjoy their...
Correct. Yes, you answered my question. Thank you. Okay. Would you like to talk to us a little bit more about the healing facilities? You said that you have several, two or three different.
3 healing facilities. One is more of structure alignment facilities. Even though we don't really have solid bodies, it's very important to have flow of energies flow through our light bodies. So this one is mainly to regulate and heal this kind of flows. And the other one is more of focusing on healing in the soul level. When the wound or damage is too strong, it can crack your soul. It's very difficult to diminish them, but depends on the experience on the mission. Sometimes it's very shocking for a galactic being to encounter something they have never encountered in their world. And it could be detrimental for their souls to have that kind of emotional experience. Because, for example, Earth, there are flow of emotions, which can be good or bad in a way when you look at in the duality level. But when there are so many emotions, and then some of the emotions you have never encountered in your life, very foreign to you, and then you experience for the first time, such as heartbreak. It is very taxing on your soul. You get used to it after you get accustomed into Earth life. But this is a very foreign emotion. So when you encounter this kind of experience for the first time, or maybe second time, it's very important for our crew member to get healing of these unusual experiences so they can get back into their normalcy. In a way, they can have understanding that this emotion is important to feel as temporary mission, but it doesn't really have effect on their soul in negative manner. So once you go into the healings, you have broader understanding of why you are experiencing this without being in shock. And the other healing center is more of astral body. Even though you are having a temporary body, it is very important to heal that part of your body in order for you to travel to different dimensions, including to the ship. So that's what we have healing center is for. And we have 4 training centers. That's training for your profession or your missions. And then we do have a recreational facility. This is more of when you miss your home planet, or you like to visit this particular planet that you've never been to, and then you like to experience it in holographic level, then you can go into this recreation center to experience it. That is purely entertainment level. And the other one is more of closer to a training sort of reason when you are visiting a particular planet for the mission. and you are not familiar with the environment or vibrational level or how it looks like or in every single manner, then you can immerse yourself into this environment. So once you are placed into this environment, you are not in shock.
Like
You
a simulation.
Yes, you feel more of, okay, I can handle it. Because I've seen it before.
So how does that work, like technically? Is it like a virtual reality simulation sort of
Yes, it
thing?
is. It's similar to holodeck in Star Trek when you see this sort of television. It's very realistic, very holographic, very realistic.
I see. Okay, amazing. And then you said there are the facilities that people can learn skills.
Yes.
Would you like to talk to us a little bit more about that?
Some of the beings want to stick to internal work within the ship. So they need to learn those kind of skills to handle their duties. So it's not a job beings need to do rest of their lives. Once you have interest in doing a certain thing, you can do it after the training. You're not fixed to do one thing. You can decide anything you want to do at the time. So let's say people who are in ground crew, and then that's what they were interested in. Then, for example, after you do Earth mission and then you get sick of doing that, and then you prefer to do on-board mission, then you can train yourself to do that. For example, you are familiar with being Bashar. Bashar stays in his planet and then he channels with his Earth future being of humanoid figure. So if one of the crew member wants to take a similar kind of job as Bashar is doing, of course you need to go through the training. You can just say, okay, I just going to do the same job as a Bashar and then contact with this being on Mars, which you are quite unfamiliar with. You don't even know how to communicate with them, and you don't even know what kind of way to send your knowledge to them in a way they can understand you. So every single professions, you need to go through your training. Some people want to be a teacher for the offsprings, even though they are not required to go for schooling that long compared to humans. We still need teachers. So some people enlist themselves to be teachers within the ship. Or some people want to brush up their skills, or they want to advance their skill levels of healings so they can go through their training centers. So when they will offer their skills in their ground crew missions, they can provide their skills in a better level.
Brings me this, what you just said brings me to ask you something a little bit more general. I'm wondering, and maybe our viewers too might want to know. And the question is, what type of, who is actually inside this mothership? What kind of beings? Is it one race? Is it many? Is it also connected to the Galactic Federation of Light?
Ashtar Command ships are part of Galactic Federation of Light. So all of the crew members are part of a Galactic Federation of Light. Beings are accepted to be a crew member based on their sheer will of they want to make a better world. They want to create a harmonious universe. And then once beings hold this intention, our ships can catch this vibration and we appear and we pick them up. So anyone in, we would say, high frequency society wants to enlist themselves as a volunteer, they are more than welcome to be a crew member. So they do come from different environment, they do come from different dimensions, they do come from different cultures, they do come from different figures. Not every single beings are humanoid. They do quite different from one being to another. Even within humanoid, they don't look like people on Earth. So there is no race in galactic society. There is some basic prototype you could see, but this is more of the collective vibrational intention we are all having, and that's unite all of us. And since all of us are at least having 5D consciousness, we do understand why we're doing this.
Right.
So there's always harmony.
Yeah. Yes. So I wonder if all the current volunteers who are at the moment incarnated on human bodies on Earth, are they all connected to you?
Some of them are still in sleep. So we have sent our sleep activations recently. And some of them are connected with us when they are in sleep, but not really consciously connected with us.
But under your umbrella is all the group of starseeds and volunteers and wanderers, or some are also connected to other groups, or are you in charge of the volunteers, so to speak, on Earth?
Galactic Federation of Light are a bigger group than Ashtar Command. So they are volunteers from other planets, not coming through us, but they enlisted themselves to descend to Earth from their planet directly. So we have a lot of different kind of starseed on Earth.
Yeah.
Our crew members are about 80% of them are on Earth missions. And about 40% are aware of who I am. The other 40s are not completely aware in a conscious level.
I see. And you said that there's an effort right now to awaken more of them?
Yes.
So you have some special operations. How do you do that?
We'll wake them up to put their authentic frequency to themselves. That is the best way for them to wake themselves up.
And how do you assist them in awakening into their true nature and their purpose?
Each of them do have a soul contract, so which is on the Akashic record on Earth. So we are assisting the awakening according to that.
I see. Okay, thank you very much for this information. Let's go back to the ship. I wanted to ask you if you have any sort of entertainment in the ship. Do you entertain yourself in ways like we do on Earth with creative expression?
Yes, we do have some of the beings who are we don't call them an entertainer. We are just being themselves. So Cassia parents are very good at singing. So when they are not on the missions, they come and provide their talent of singing, and then everybody listen to them. But we don't really have entertainment figure or entertainment habit, like going to the movie theater or watching TV or going to the concert, because we are quite entertained by observing what's going on in another planet who we are serving in a good way. And also we are extremely passionate about what we do, so we are quite preoccupied by our mission, so we don't get bored. So we don't really need to have some other figure to entertain us.
I understand. You just observe what's going on Earth, and it's the biggest show you can ever have, right?
In a way, but we're not really watching you as if we are watching movies.
I know, I'm joking, but it's something that is that I've heard, and it's just very amusing to me, very funny that the biggest show on Earth is the biggest show in the galaxy is on Earth right now, and all eyes are on us and how things will unfold and so on and so forth.
Yes.
Okay. I wonder if you have furniture inside the ship.
We do have a bed.
Okay. Are you sleeping, or is just resting?
Some beings do not need to sleep, but figuratively, some beings do still want to have a bed for healing purpose.
Yeah.
Or procreation purpose.
So you do procreate. Some of the races procreate physically.
Yes, it's always a choice. You don't really need to procreate in the human way. You don't have to be opposite sex to procreate, because everything is an energetic mixture of two souls. But some beings choose to do it that way because it's pleasurable.
Okay. Interesting.
But you don't need to.
I see. And how? What is the where are you getting the energy to for the ship? What kind of energy are you harnessing? Are you using?
We don't really use fuel like humans use for their airplanes or their cars. Ships are non-physical, so we don't need energy to use as a fuel. If we have to put in simple manner, it's we use for crystal technology. But that's all we have to say.
Okay, so but then you use a certain, you generate a certain kind of energy through crystal technology.
We do use crystal technology for the ship, but we don't really need fuel to operate the ship.
I understand. Okay. Okay, and so the ship is now stationed, or is it?
It is stationed.
Excuse me?
It is stationed.
It is stationed. Okay. And is there anything that you would like to share about the ship that I didn't ask you? Something that our viewers would possibly would like to hear about?
Yes, our ground crew found the hot springs on Earth are quite enjoyable. So some of the crew members requested for us to create something similar to that in the ship. So that would be under construction. Of course, the content of these hot springs won't be the same content as what you have on Earth. This will be more similar to what you have in Arcturus, the Crystal Lake. But instead of the water, we would have a hot temperature or warm temperature. And that would be, we are saying, a new sort of entertainment / healing center we are creating.
And where are you going to get the water from?
We are getting main component from Arcturus, but we are changing it to more similar to hot spring on Earth.
I see. Okay. And one question I didn't ask you is if you could estimate the size of this mothership compared to Earth measurements, just to have an idea.
We are having the capacity of when you put one Earth and half of the Earth, even though we don't have 7 billion people on the ship, we have a lot of free spaces.
Okay.
So that is the closest way I can describe how big the ship is.
Okay, so it's bigger than the Earth.
Yes.
Okay, wow, that's huge. Okay, amazing. So thank you so much, Asta. Thank you very much for all these amazing details and descriptions. Anything else before we close that you would like to share with us regarding this mothership?
No, not on Mothership. But it is very important for all of you to hold your light and the compassion at this time.
Yes. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure to connect with you. I'm looking forward to connect with you next week.
Thank you. This is Ashtar of Ashtar Command. We are here to serve all of you.
Welcome back, Erica.
Oh, hi. Okay, so you guys want to check out shorter message of Ashtar, which is completely different topic. You can check out my site on youtube.com Angel Dust Productions description box. Alrighty. Thank you.
So thank you, Erica. Thank you so much. It was really amazing. So many amazing information, details. I really enjoyed it. I hope our viewers too. And I'm looking forward for our next video next week. And we already said before we start this session that we would like to give the people a little bit some information from the Ashtar Command regarding how to navigate the current disinformation and overload of input and intel, right? So stay tuned for that. I think it's going to be great. And you're gonna find Erica's links in the video below and mine as well. Thank you so much for watching. Much love. Bye.
Bye.